Okay, so Akash, let's proceed ahead with your mock for legal officer post, law officer post in HPCL, right? So we
Yes,
start
sir.
with a brief introduction, Akash.
Good evening, sir. I am Akash Damu, and I did my law from National University and Judicial Academy, Assam. And I was born and brought up in district Jhunjhunu in the state of Rajasthan.
Mhm.
Upon my graduation, I completed my master's in law,
Mhm.
and thereupon I worked with Government of Haryana Education Department for 2 years and 5 months.
Mhm.
Thereupon, I've been practicing and preparing for competitive examinations.
So when did you complete your qualification, Akash?
I completed my graduation in 2017, sir. Thereupon, I did my master's in law in 2018.
And your graduation is in?
BLLB honors, sir.
Okay.
Specialization of Constitutional and Criminal Laws.
And then you done masters in law.
Yes, sir.
So when did you complete it?
2018, I completed my master's in law.
And after that?
After that, I joined Education Department, Government of Haryana, as a legal assistant. I worked there till February of 2021,
So how many
and
years? Four
two
years.
years and 5 months.
2
2
years.
years and 5 months,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what was the roles and responsibility in that department as
My
legal
primarily,
assistant?
I was working as legal assistant and I was endowed with responsibilities of drafting written statements, providing legal opinions,
Mm,
getting documents vetted from Office of Advocate General Haryana,
mm,
and briefing the arguing councils in the Punjab and Haryana High Court, and
mm,
preparing all the review or appeal documents.
mm. Okay.
So,
So Akash, now why don't you continue there only? Why HPCL?
sir, as I have mentioned, I have already resigned from that position in the year of 2021
Mm-hmm.
because, first of all, it was a contractual employment,
Mm-hmm.
and I could not foresee any kind of growth in the position that I was serving. And also, after I started preparing for the competitive examinations,
Mm-hmm.
especially PSUs, I found this opportunity of HPCL notification, and I appeared for the examination. I was fortunate enough to be called for interview. The
Mm-hmm.
reason for opting for HPCL primarily is because HPCL being a very widely known central public central public sector undertaking. I find that this organization is not solely profit motivated. It also undertakes development activities and also undertakes CSR activities, which would give me an opportunity to serve the country's development as well.
Okay. So, but there are so many public sector undertakings. Why you are choosing HPCL?
HPCL being a Maharatna company, and this is the first opportunity that I came across with, and it is also very renowned in the sector of oils and petroleums, and primarily automobiles, which has some kind, which towards which I have some kind of inclination. That's totally my personal choice that I have some inclination toward automobiles.
Hmm. Okay. So, Akash, are you aware about the managing director of HPCL?
Sir, presently the managing director of HPCL is Mr. Pushkumar Joshi.
Hmm. Could you see any legal officer also as a director of HPCL?
No, sir, I'm not aware of, but I'm aware of the fact that Mr. Pushkumar Joshi also comes from law background.
Hmm. Okay. Akash, what do you know about HPCL, which attracts you towards this organization?
It is a very widely set up organization which has refineries based in Mumbai and Visakhapatnam,
Mm-hmm.
which which can be termed as one of the largest company which undertakes refinery projects across the country.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the third refinery is coming up at Barmer. Overall, if we see that in the sector of fuel or uh, liquefied petroleum gas, CNG, and electric charging stations, it is one of the largest company that the country has.
Okay. So, Akash, how do you define yourself as a person?
I see myself, or I define myself as a person who is perseverant and who is hardworking and highly adaptable to the work conditions.
Can you tell me your short-term and long-term career objectives?
My short-term career objectives, sir, would be to have a secure and stable uh, professional engagement for the time being.
Hmm.
And for the long-term career objective, I wish to see myself as to have a to be an officer who is serving towards the development of the country as well as the society.
Hmm. So let's say you are part of HPCL. Where do you see yourself after 10 years if you are in HPCL?
I would see myself at the position which would the organization would take me, and I would not be able to mention the name of the position that I would be at, but I am hopeful that I would at least be to the level of manager.
Hmm. So you're from Rajasthan. What if we post you down in the Tamil Nadu, deep down in
Sir,
the.
I am highly adaptable to the any kind of geographical location that I might be posted at,
Hmm.
because my prior experience has been living in Guwahati for 5 long years. I was student of National University and Judicial Academy Assam, and thereupon I was working for 2 years and 5 months at Chandigarh. So I have no such apprehensions or reservations towards posting at any such place or anywhere in the country for that matter.
Okay. Okay. Over to you, Sudhir.
Hi Akash.
Good evening, sir.
Is it cold out there? You are wearing a jacket?
Yes, sir. Jaipur has just recently received rainfall just a few hours ago.
Oh, what's the temperature out there right now?
It is around 19 degrees, sir.
Oh, it's okay. hmm So, what is this sudden rainfall which happened in Jaipur? What is the reason for that? In most of the Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, there were rains.
Sir, I'm sorry, but I'm not aware of the reasons as of now. But it usually so happens at around the time of Holi that the cold wave arrives back, and before the summer starts, it's usually the sudden drop in temperature that happens every year. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not very well aware of the geographical reasons for
hmm So, looks like farmers are worried out there, right? Because of this unexpected rainfall.
it might be so, sir, but there's also a chance, or there's also a flip side to it that if before the heat got severe, it would be a relief for the crops that are planted so that they can grow a little more and they would ripe better after the heat is back.
Any idea why farmers are worried because of this unexpected rainfall?
There's a risk if it continues for a long time. The crops that are to be harvested in the coming months,
Mhm.
that is March and April, that would go stale.
Okay. So you have completed your post graduation, right? LLM.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have done.
What is your specialization? Corporate law.
It was, sir, criminal and security laws.
What is it?
Criminal and security laws.
It's a new branch, is it? Where they are combining criminal and security, or is it existing one?
Uh, it has been in existence because it primarily dealt with the first semester dealt with the procedural laws that involves with criminal procedure in the country, and the
Mm-hmm.
second semester involved with the organized crimes and money laundering offenses and prevention of children from sexual offenses and all those kind of acts. The new laws that have come up, such as Juvenile Justice Act and all those acts.
The security part includes also the cyber security part here.
It
You
was
have.
not so particularly in my specialization, but
Mhm.
I have gone through it at some other undertaking while I was working as an intern at the firm.
So, but you are specializing in criminal law, but you are coming to corporate law and HPCL. Your job profile would be more of a corporate law, right?
Yes, sir, I am aware of
Mhm.
that.
So why did you go for criminal law in the first place if your inclination was a career in a public sector unit like HPCL?
Sir, unfortunately, at that point of time, I did not have an option because I had just got back from my graduation and I had to be back home for my personal engagements due to the family reasons. So I
Mhm.
thought I would undertake this academic pursuit while I was home attending my parents. So
But you did not
that
have
was
an
the reason.
option to pursue LLM in corporate law? You didn't have
Sir,
a choice?
no, sir. The place where I pursued masters in law, I was not provided with an option to pursue it in corporate laws. The only few options were that of constitutional laws and the criminal laws, sir.
So, what are the different kinds of writ petitions?
The Constitution of India provides for five kind of writs
Okay.
that are habeas corpus, mandamus, certiorari, quo warranto, and prohibition.
What is the difference between prohibition and certiorari?
Certiorari primarily deals with challenging any kind of order that has been passed by any authority, that is executive, while the writ of prohibition deals with the orders passed by a subordinate court to that of High Court or Supreme Court.
Okay. So, any idea right now, HPCL, any cases which HPCL is involved in? You are aware of any of the recent cases?
No, sir, I'm sorry, but I'm not aware of any kind of litigation that HPCL is going.
Okay. So, of late, HPCL is importing the fuel from Russian country. Are you aware of that? From Russia, they are importing because of it is cheap from that country. Are you aware of that?
No, sir, I'm not aware of the imports that HPCL is having from Russia.
At least you are aware that the government of India has taken a decision in spite of the curbs put on Russia. They have decided to import from Russia because
Yes,
it's
sir.
at a cheaper price.
Yes, sir.
Are you aware of that?
Yes, sir, I'm aware of that.
But in spite of procuring at very low price, but that is not being passed on to the retail consumers. What is your take on this? Is the government doing right thing by not subsidizing, passing on the benefit of lower prices to the consumer?
Sir, in my opinion, the direct price that comes to the end of consumer is not very much decided by the prices at which the oil is imported by the government. And it is because so that it is often kept as reserve. It is not so that the oil that has been imported would be directly refined and put on sales for the consumers. It is usually for the reserves and for the unfortunate events that might happen, so that that oil can be utilized at the later stage of time. So that is the reason I believe that the prices are not reflected
So
at
you are
early
saying
at all.
that the prices of domestic market are insensitive to the international crude prices? Are you
The effect,
saying that?
I'm not indicating or directly implying the same. I'm just trying to put in here that the prices are determined in the long run rather than in the short term. Just because the international prices have fallen down, that would not impact instantly to the consumer prices. That's what I'm trying to
It should,
say
right?
here.
For example, if the cost of crude oil is one of the cost component to determine your final fuel price, obviously the change in that should reflect here, right? Unless government takes a policy against that and says whatever benefit is coming, we will use it instead of passing it on to the consumer. You are aware, right? Even LPG prices are increasing. Last week, it is basically creating a problem for the middle class consumers where almost they're paying 1200 rupees now per cylinder compared to 300 rupees earlier, 4 5 years back.
To the first part of the proposition, sir, it is right that the international crude oil prices do reflect, do fluctuate, and the difference is reflected, but it so happens in the long term. And about the second proposition that the prices of LPG are rising from rupees 300 to rupees 1200, as you just mentioned. The primary reason for that, which has happened, is the subsidy that used to be provided to the consumers, that has been taken away. Earlier, it was shifted to the remittance in the bank accounts of the consumers. Now it has been totally taken away, and now in my opinion, it has come to the actual price of LPG that is applicable for the consumers, removing the subsidy. So that is the sole reason that the prices have been inflated so much.
So, are you aware of the Solomon versus Solomon case, which you studied in corporate law?
Yes, sir, I am aware of the case.
Can you just briefly tell me, to a layman, what simply it tells, what is the case about, and what is the case decision in that matter?
It primarily deals, the case Solomon versus Solomon primarily deals with the separate entity of a corporation rather than the the persons who are involved. Whereas, for example, the promoters are different from the corporate entity. So the liability would not come upon the promoters in the first place. It would be the corporation which would have to face the liability, and it also gave rise to the principle of lifting of corporate veil just only after that corporation has failed to clear of its liability, it would come upon its shareholders and promoters. So the to sum it up, Solomon versus Solomon laid down the idea of corporate entity.
So, can you just term what is the legal term, what is the legal concept that is basically decided there?
It is corporate personality, if I'm recalling it right.
Yeah, unveiling the corporate wheel, removing the corporate wheel, right?
Lifting of the corporate wheels.
Lifting of the corporate. That's the term I was looking for.
Sir.
Okay, Akash, that's it from me. Will listen to Vijendra's feedback and then I'll give you a feedback.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Vijay. Hello.
Okay, so Akash, from my side, everything is okay. I mean,
All right, sir.
I found you good in communication in basic things. The detailed application form which you have filled, the kind of questions they have asked you. So you
Yes,
have prepared for that. Why HPCL, long-term, short-term career objectives, the same question which you have filled. Just go through that form. Everything written in that form, you should be good in that.
Okay, sir.
I mean, sometimes they pick it up question from any word from whatever you have written, and they will ask you question from there. So that is what you have to do. And then 19 to whatever you were doing. So probable question will be like present job which you are doing, or you
Okay, sir.
So what have you done in that particular job? And you are now interested in this particular job, and your suitability for this job in public sector, because it is all over India job.
Yes,
Your
sir.
suitability for this job, these are the probable questions. So from employment form and your suitability for this and knowledge about HPCL. And what career do you see for yourself as a law officer in HPCL? So what growth do you see for yourself? And as you are saying, for national service and all, we want to do as a legal officer and law officer, how can you do that?
Okay, sir.
Those things, right?
All right, sir. I'll take note of that.
Yeah.
And if possible, can I share the detailed application form with you over the WhatsApp
Yes,
so that
yes. Yeah, you can
it
do
can
that.
be reviewed?
When is your
I'll
interview?
do that tomorrow. It's on 13th of March, sir.
Okay. And you send it to me, right?
I'll send it to you tomorrow, sir. WhatsApp.
Rest is okay from my side.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Over to you, Sudhir.
Yeah, Akash, your communication skills are good. If you can cheer up a bit with a smile, it would have a positive impact on the interviewers.
I'll take note of this.
Right? Your language is good, your communication is good, your understanding of law concepts are good. So the only thing I would say to you is, one is, because you have already indicated that you have done your LLM, right, in the application form. So that is where they might ask you this tricky question of what is it that you are doing here if you are doing if you have done a criminal procedure code.
Yes, sir.
Right. So for that question, you have to be ready for that.
Okay, sir.
Right. So you think over that. If you don't get any leads in that, please get back to us. We will give you the appropriate answer for that. Right.
Yes,
because
sir.
you are applying in corporate law and you are specialized in criminal law.
Yes, sir.
So they will directly ask you, for example, it's like, I'm specialized in pediatrics, but I am coming back as a general surgeon post or general this thing. So
Right,
it is
sir.
similar to that. So they might take you there. That is where they can that's where it can go against you. That is the only point. And
All right, sir.
another thing is this price impact of oil prices. These are oil companies. This is a major issue. The policy of the government going on this day in and day out discussion happens on this. Why the
Okay,
government is not passing on this benefit of international crude prices to the customers, and what they are doing with this money.
all right,
So
sir.
you can
I'll go through that. I'll read about it.
yeah, because that is a very hot topic generally. So
Okay,
what is the policy of government on that, and why it's not doing? Just you do any small research, you will get information on that. It is not the
all right,
answer which you are told, but it's basically government is getting that benefit, but they are using it for building infrastructure and stuff like that, which is which they support, saying that it will be beneficial for everyone.
all right, sir.
So they are passing it on the benefit to the general public rather than just the consumers of fuel.
All right, sir. Noted.
Akash, all the best for your interview on 13th. And I
Thank you,
hope
sir.
you will get through.
Thank you
Okay,
very much,
Akash,
sir. Thank you.
all the very best. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.